Hello and welcome to this general astrological overview for the day of April 9th, 2022. Starting a bit early in the day today, actually very, very early, the moon will square the sun. And so we're still experiencing some of the stressful energy from yesterday as the moon squared Chiron and then moved more into the square with the sun. And so the moon is coming off of that and begins to square Mercury and oppose Pluto, but we will talk about that a little later. After that, the moon moves into this very smooth flowing, watery, emotional trine to the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction in Pisces, which is getting very close to perfecting now. And so I think we're likely to really see a lot of breakthrough energy in this Jupiter-Neptune stuff today because it's being activated very powerfully by the moon. And again, we've talked about this in recent videos, but this Jupiter-Neptune in Pisces, this is expansion of spirituality, it's forgiveness, letting go, emotional release, catharsis. It is the exploration of what is otherworldly and mysterious. It can be mind-altering substances, anything that causes an alteration in consciousness or alterations in consciousness in general. All of this stuff is really building up and intensifying right now. And today the moon is activating it in a nice trine. Now, that doesn't guarantee that it will manifest so positively, but trines are easier to work with. They're smooth flowing energy. And so again, this, just in my intuitive sense, this has a very releasing and letting go quality to it, maybe even with a bit of a sense of optimism or a boost of confidence of that Jupiter in Pisces, which is very much at home. And it's just has a very reflective quality as well, with it being in Pisces and Neptune being reflective and all of that. So that's a very strong dose of the energy that we have today. However, there's always a however. As we move further into the day, the moon then moves into this rather tense square with Mercury and this ominous opposition with Pluto. And so this is taking place mainly during the evening hours as it moves between these aspects, and this all, of course, hooks together. So we're looking at 7, 8, 9 p.m., but perhaps even beyond that. So this is activating this Mercury-Pluto square, which is kind of just almost sneaked up on us, it seems. And this can be a bit, difficult to say the least. This is our minds coming up against the power structures, or what is deep and dark and psychological, things we don't want to face, things we don't want to look at, things that are deeply transformative. Maybe we don't want to look at them, but we need to look at them. And of course, with a stressful square, it's we don't want to take our minds there right now. We don't want to use our minds to explore this data. And yet the reality is, for the vast majority of us, we probably need to. This is probably not a time to run away from what is dark and hidden, but a time to work with it in some way if you want to use this energy more positively, I would say. And of course, the moon opposite Pluto as it squares Mercury is just emphasizing the activation of that further. If we were to just look at the moon opposite Pluto, that has a sense of fear, even paranoia. Again, encounters with what is deep and dark and powerful and intensely psychological, and the need to transform, and perhaps our emotions, which are so linked to the moon, maybe not wanting to face that darkness and transform. But again, I would recommend that this is a time when we do face that darkness and facilitate that transformation, because it's going to happen one way or another. So it's best to just get on board with it rather than resist it, which will just make matters worse for us. But at least that's my opinion. Take my advice if you want to, I suppose. So yes, that is a bit intense, but other than that, that's what we have. I guess what I'm hoping as I look at this energy more is that is that this nice trine to the Jupiter Neptune conjunction in Pisces will help us deal with the square to Mercury in opposition to Pluto and the Mercury Pluto square itself. Like, hopefully that will give us like the, I don't know, spiritual wherewithal to deal with this rather stressful energy. So let's hope for that. That's about it for April 9th. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a wonderful day.